Here's a brief but annoying message to let you know that you could have first heard this episode 9 months ago if you were a subscriber to our Iron Filing Society Patreon offering.
For the price of a pint and a St Clement's each month, you can get up to 4 episodes a week, 9 months before the rest of the world gets them. Early access to regular episodes, lots of other marvellous benefits, and there's absolutely no adverts or brief but annoying messages like this that will get right on your ticks.
Find out more and subscribe now at tftimemachine.com/ironfilings.
Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go, this is it!
This is Top Flight Tune Machine. I am Andy Hotbody Dawson. Pow, pow, pow.
I am Sam Nifty Delaney. So what?
Welcome along. It's the second instalment of this chart we're looking at, which is the 21st of April 1974. Neither of us were what we've described in the past as chart sentient at this point.
No.
All of this, I mean, I was alive.
You were alive. I wasn't even alive yet. I don't even know if I'd been conceived. No, I hadn't even been conceived.
No, you hadn't.
It was almost a year before I was born.
Yeah. So some of these songs would have entered my tiny baby consciousness, but I probably wouldn't have been aware of them. Actually, that's bullshit, because I'm looking at one of them. I'm looking at what was number 4 in the charts now. 74 April. I'll have been 1 year and 9 months old. And if Remember You're a Womble by the Wombles wasn't in my consciousness, the whole thing's a sham.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that's just absolute prime toddler pop, isn't it?
Well, speaking of Wombles, I'm glad that you've brought that up, because recently I saw on your social feed that you had discovered the novel of the Wombles, which I, at first glance, thought that must be the novelisation. But no, it came for a TV show. Tell us more.
Yes, I picked this copy up in a charity shop. I'll tell you which charity shop it was as well. It's the charity shop that is adjoined to Sunderland's brand new Tip.
Oh, what a day out that is. Tip and charity shop.
Yeah, exactly. We got a new Tip which was opened last year.
They should call that.
Not only is
they
there
should call
that
Dadland.
Oh yeah, it's so brilliant. It's almost Germanic, Sam.
Right. Yeah.
In its efficiency.
Yeah.
And systems.
Oh.
You've got to book online before you can go. You're getting a lot of time, and then there's every station that's there is numbered for a different thing, and there's a parking bay for each one, and you go in and you check in, and they get told which bay you've got to go to.
What are the staff like? The operatives?
Oh, they're great. They're great.
Are they nice, or are they just like coldly efficient? Is there any
they're
warmth?
Efficient. There's warmth. Yeah, they're good. They're exclusively men, as far as I can gather. That's how it is.
Yeah.
But they're no nonsense. They're helpful, kind.
What's that? Is that garden waste? No, it's not. Well, it is. Some of it is from the garden, but I wouldn't call it garden waste because it's not all natural.
Just put it in general.
Yeah, that's it. When you talk too much to them and start to use it, they just get
stick
bored.
It in general, mate.
Stick it in general.
Yeah. And the parking spaces in one section of it are reverse only, reverse entry only.
That's quite intimidating to some drivers.
It is. They're wide bays though. They're wide bays. You've got a good target to go at. But there's this charity shop next door to it as well. You can drop things off that are too good to just be dumped.
Great idea. What a great idea.
And they sell them. And the stuff I got the other day was quite TFTM adjacent. I got the Wombles book that I'll talk about in a minute, but I also got 2 LPs by the group Mud brackets group, as opposed to Mud brackets Substance that we've talked about.
Yeah.
We said we'd get round to Mud the group at some point, so we might do. So I got 2 albums by Mud, which are in great condition, for £3, and the Wombles book for 50 pence.
Wow.
And what it is, it's a novel that was written in 1968 by Elizabeth Beresford, who came up with the Wombles. And it's 169 pages. It's a proper book. It's proper literature.
So she's like sat down. Well, I'm going to write a book, and it's going to be about these sort of like these creatures that live on Wimbledon Common. And they just like collect. Funnily enough, it is there is something ironic's not the word, but it's interesting that you bought a book about creatures who recycle junk in a shop that was adjacent to the local tip.
Yeah, it's perfect, isn't it?
Yeah,
perfect.
it all ties together. And so she's just thought, I'm going to write a book about this, and someone read it. A TV executive read it and thought this would be a great stop animation TV series for kids, which is not the way round that most kids' TV shows usually work, is it? Usually,
I think
they're the product of the TV producer's imagination first.
Yeah, and then the book comes later on when they want to monetize it, along with the toys and everything. But the Wombles are on the front cover. There's 2 Wombles, and they're driving a jalopy kind of car. And it's really hard to describe what they look like. They're almost like bears, but they're wearing those masks the burglars used to wear that kind of go around the outside of their eyes.
Yeah.
They've gone out of fashion now, haven't they?
You don't see them now. It's all balaclavas now.
Yeah. I don't think you get enough protection of your identity with those old school burglar masks.
No, but in the old days before CCTV, they were probably sufficient enough.
They were good enough, yeah.
Because you couldn't zoom in, so it's like... Whereas now, CCTV, it's like most... Like, robbers now have to go around in... What do you call them? Yashmaks.
Is that what they're called? I don't know. But the front cover's really perplexing because they're almost like little bear figures. And one of them... I don't know, one of them looks like he's climbing into the car, but then there's all, because he's wearing something, but then his bottom half is just like naked bear sort of stuff, and then there's loads of these bear bodies in the back of the jalopy. I really can't figure it out. I don't know what's going on. I'll have to probably look at the book. I should probably bring it to a future episode and look at the beginning where they get described. They'll be described at the very beginning.
Have a scan, see if it's diveable. If it's not diveable, then at least give us a few choice passages of it. I'd like that. It might
be far too dense to be diveable. It feels more literary than, let's say, the Kevin Keegan autobiography.
Really? Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's quite some accolade.
Much more going on, concept-wise.
More of a high concept, but
it's too literary for us. Yeah,
it's high concept. In fact, apparently Don Simpson and Jerry Bruckheimer looked into acquiring the rights of it in the 80s.
Bit too complicated.
Yeah, the license. It was the business deal was too complicated, but they had Tom Cruise attached to play Great Uncle Bulgaria, and Kelly McGuinness was going to play
Madame Cholet.
Yeah, Madame Cholet. Yeah. And they had a really massive soundtrack album. It was all lined up. In the end, it's just too complicated. Acquiring the rights off of what's her name, Beresford. She really held out for crazy money. She wanted first pass on the script, etc.
I think she saw Simpson and Bruckheimer as the cocaine-addled frauds that they might have been at the time.
She thought
she just saw they're not serious figures.
Her attitude was like, this is a literary work. And you are going to debase it with your neon-lit Hollywood frippery, right? Which I am averse to up to a certain point. And that point is represented by a sum of money. I am willing to betray my own art for a very large sum of money, an absurdly large. And as it transpired, it was too large even for Simpson and Bruckheimer to contemplate.
And that is based mainly on your proposal to relocate it from Wimbledon Common to Miami Beach.
Yeah.
Which I do not feel would work.
We feel the Wombles are great as a concept. We think they would be better if they were sexy human beings. And they were on motorbikes.
Or sexy animals. But human beings dressed as sexy animals.
Sexy cats. People like cats. Could they be more cat-like? Could we have a sexy woman playing Madame Cholet in a cat costume, kind of like Catwoman in the original TV series? And what about if they were flying in big sexy fighter jets?
Will they have sex? Will they have sexy sex on the beach? Will we see them in a hotel room? That George Michael video, a bit like that. Careless Whisper video, like that, where it's in silhouette.
Mrs. Beresford, we think you're a great writer. We admire your art. We are great fans of your literature. But you got to understand, You make the sausage and we sell the sizzle. We're sizzle guys. We can make you rich. We can make ourselves all very rich, Mrs. Beresford. Just give us your womballs. It's wombles. Womballs.
That's how we say it in the USA.
Womballs. That's what we said. The wombalays. I love how you Europeans speak. We would love to make the wombalays.
So this is the 1972 print of it. It was written in 1968, and this is the 1972 version. And it's a brilliant cover, but they look nothing like how they looked on TV a year or two later.
It got reimagined by the TV people a little bit.
It did,
yeah.
And for the better, because it taught us all about recycling and that, which we all do now. So
well, we do now, but I mean, it took another 40 years for people to catch up with what the Wombles were fucking on about, didn't it?
Well, I mean, some people still haven't, have they?
No.
As you'll probably see if you go to Sunderland Tip and you see
some people are still all about filling up a fucking shopping trolley and tipping the whole lot into the canal once every fortnight, and that's how they get rid of their household waste. You wouldn't catch me doing that. Not since the 90s, anyway.
Since that time when you did it. Yeah, that's how they get their kicks, like they say now.
Well, by the way, what about all this fucking poison and chemicals in the river? Forever chemicals. We should perhaps talk about that on our regular Monday episode. But Fergal Sharkey,
I'll make a note of it.
Yeah, Fergal Sharkey's been up to his old tricks again, and thank God that he has been. And there are, honestly, and this will be of great interest to your other pod husband, Bob, who spends a huge amount of time in rivers, I've noticed, right? The fucking rivers are Fergal Sharkey was right all along. There's been a massive investigation, and they are dumping what's known as forever chemicals into all of the gorgeous, beautiful rivers all over our country. And these are chemicals that will never die out. They will be in our rivers, killing the fish, killing the water life, making it toxic for humans to come anywhere near forever. It's all happened since Brexit, by the way. And they have literally fucked, shit-canned the nation's rivers. They dump shit and chemicals into them every fucking day.
Let's look at it closer on the Monday episode, because that's what people come to us for, I think, isn't it?
They do, yeah. Everyone will be thinking, what are the Top Flight Time Machine lads going to say about these forever chemicals in the rivers?
It's Cup final weekend. No doubt they'll be looking back at the big match from Wembley and all of the ramifications and everything. No, we're talking forever chemicals.
Honestly, though, you should talk to... I mean, Bob, when you look at that show, they're standing in rivers the whole time. And I'm not even joking when I say I'm not sure they're going to be able to for much longer.
Well, they've had Fergal on the show.
Yeah.
He's appeared on one of the episodes where he sat by the river with them and he told them what was going on.
That's good.
He did, yeah. And then they sang Teenage Kicks for a little bit.
That's great. I think it's good. I think that they're between Fergal Sharkey and Paul Whitehouse and Bob Mortimer, these are great men doing great things for river awareness, right? Because people didn't have enough river. And what, actually, Andy, what could be nicer than a river? I mean,
very little.
When you're going around the country, which we do on tour and all the rest of it, and you're going through the countryside, countryside's lovely, but there's nothing lovelier than seeing a river run through it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just lovely. And England, the UK, let's say, for all its faults...
there's rivers just outside of England.
For all its faults, right? Well, let's not get into river wars again, because that has got ugly in the past, right?
Home international river wars.
But for all its fucking faults, we have some of the most loveliest rivers in the world. But now they are fucked forever. Thank you, Tories. Anyway.
Thank you, Ali Carter, the snooker player who's playing in today's final.
Yeah.
Against the abominable Sean Murphy. But Ali Carter is pro-Brexit and has been quite vocally.
And what's his position on rivers?
Well, I imagine he fucking hates them.
I hate rivers.
Because he's brought all this in, hasn't he? He's
all these people going on about rivers. Well, what about the silent majority who actually hate rivers and have long wanted our rivers to be poisoned out of existence, right? Yeah, it's all very well, all these metropolitan elitists going on about how much they love rivers, but actually the ordinary working classes around the rest of the country hate rivers and want them to be poisoned out of existence. And it's only these fucking bureaucrats in Brussels who've been stopping us from doing it.
They want them to be poisoned, concreted over, and have fucking amusement arcades and shops built on top.
And betting shops.
And betting shops, yeah. Same with tomatoes. It's only the fucking middle class who like tomatoes.
Yeah, exactly.
And peppers.
Yeah. Fucking hell, we're sick to death of these metropolitan elitists from North London telling us about tomatoes and peppers. What do the working classes like? I'll tell you what they like. Chicken wings and
Fags.
turnips. And fags as well. And as long as they keep the fags coming, you won't hear any complaints from us.
But, I mean, we shouldn't really be talking about this. This should be for the Monday episode.
Yeah.
But one final thing. This is a secret, really. But Bob's made a lot of money out of that
Poisoning
river
rivers.
show. That he does. Is it fishing? Yeah, fishing thing.
Yeah.
Because they've sold the format around the world.
Oh, my God.
So there's a Mexican
really?
version, there's a Canadian version, there's an Ethiopian version, different rivers, different...
It's all about...
It's basically two male,
but
amiable characters.
It's all about the talent. I've always found the whole idea of like format sales quite interesting, because unless it's a quiz show where the format is so bulletproof, you could put a fucking goat at the helm of it and it would still have drama in it.
Such as
Who Wants to Be a
The Wall.
Millionaire? Or The Wall. Yeah. Did you say The Hole?
The Wall.
Oh,
No, the wall.
I thought there was a new
Is The
one
Hole
called
a
The
different
Hole.
one?
Well, they had the wheel, they had the wall. It's only a matter of time before they do the hole.
Yeah, the spoon.
Stick your hand through that hole. I'm Paddy
Shall we-
McGuinness. Get your hand through the hole.
Should we create a format called The Spoon?
Yeah. Yeah, and start pitching it. You know what would be a really good podcast? Actually, I shouldn't give this away. It's actually so good that someone might nick the idea. It's a format for a podcast that we should sell. I'll tell you it later. But anyway,
yeah.
I'm up for The Spoon.
Jalapeño. Jalapeño.
But the thing about the two lads in a river, which is the name of the show, right? It's all about the lads. I mean,
all
rivers
about
are
the lads.
great, right? But it's not going to be... It's all about the two lads and their dynamic.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing to force, isn't it? That's my opinion.
The river-
I mean,
the
good
river
luck to
is-
them for flogging it. But the Ethiopian TV channel who've bought it for £1 million, they might, if they don't find the right lads to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know what the comedy scene's like in Ethiopia.
Well, I think Bob and Paul, they go over there and they
they
audition
do it?
The lads.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, they
Yeah,
present it even in Ethiopia?
No. They find Bob and
They
Paul
go over and
equivalents.
they look around. They get to scout them.
They've
Next.
been-
No,
they-
he's no good. Next.
No. Oh, he's got a big nose. He's no good. They've done.
He
they've
won't
been to
last
about
5
90
minutes in a river, trust me.
97 different countries they've been to now and sold this format. But as a result of this, the amount of money he's made from it, I shouldn't be telling you this.
Yeah, what?
But he's had a section from, I can't name it, but he's had a section from a UK river
Named
cut
after.
out
No.
and relocated to his back garden, which is massive anyway.
Really? That's amazing. That's
So,
serious.
yeah.
Do you know
And
what
the
they
thing-
call that?
The thing is,
That's fuck you money.
so he's had a section of this river,
Yeah.
but the fucking thing is, it fucking flows.
That's
It
amazing.
begins
isn't
and ends at the boundaries of his
it? Back garden.
right? It's just been put in. And
Yeah.
I don't know how it happens, whether there's machinery or what going on underneath, but it flows. I've seen video of it. It flows like a
Well,
proper river.
it's self-flowing.
Self-flowing river.
It's a
Yeah, he's
self-flowing
had it put
river.
in. So you can just go
there are
down there.
certain rivers that are self-flowing.
Because some people
I nearly
buy...
have known
some
that.
pe-
I
some-
bet you Fergal. I bet Sharky gave him a tip off about what
Sharky's
river.
involved.
Yeah.
Sharky's balls deep in it.
It'd be like-
Yeah.
Fergal, listen, it's Bob Mortimer. I've made a load of fuck you cash from selling the format around the world, right?
Ethiopia.
And Fergal's gone, right, well, if you've got fuck you cash, I assume I assume you want to buy a section of a river for personal use. And he goes, that's exactly right. And he goes, Bob, you come to the right
can help
man.
you.
Because
I
the
can
first thing
facilitate
you're going to
that.
want is for the river to be self-flowing. Because if you get one that
Yeah.
not self-flowing, you'll end up just with a fucking big pool of water that will eventually just soak into your back
Just
garden.
a massive pond.
Yeah.
That's no good.
Shit.
Yeah. But, I mean, some people get so rich that they buy a house that's got land and there's a river at the bottom of it, isn't there?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
My brother's got a stream in his garden, which is not
That kind of
top
thing,
fuck you
yeah.
cash, but it's like close enough.
Not that kind of thing, yeah. But he's just took one from an existing river and had it put in.
Amazing.
And it still flows.
Well, I'm delighted for him, to be honest.
Oh, he's
And-
earned it.
And he's definitely...
He's come from nothing.
He's come from nothing, and the amount of river. But aside from all his comedy work and the podcast he does with you, just that I wouldn't stand in a river as regularly as he's done over the last few years. I wouldn't
days.
have the stomach for it. I wouldn't be able to take it. The cold.
Not with, yeah. And I mean, all the chemicals now, the state of his health, it's not going to be good for him.
I mean, he's putting his life on the line. So thank God he's getting paid properly for it.
Yeah. So there you go. Excuse me. And if you thought any of that was true, then I apologise. Right.
So this was a big glam rock era, wasn't it, Andy? It was like
74.
So what am I? So I'm saying Mud, Glitter Band, Slade. They're all in the top 10. So was 74 like the height of glam rock?
I think it was probably just over the top of the mountain. It was just starting to come down.
So was this where it went very pop before it had been a bit more? I suppose if the early glam rock would have been like early Roxy Music and
T-Rex,
and that was a bit more sort of credible. And now
and
Slade, and now it's gone a bit. Gary Glitter's got involved and made it a bit more like
you were getting
poppy.
Yeah, the Carpetbaggers were starting to get involved. Like we say, Gary Glitter's there.
To put it in Britpop terms, which is more our era, it's more. This is like when Northern Uproar get involved.
Yeah.
Oh,
to be fair, Glitter was active. Is that the word I should be using? Probably not. Glitter was active from June 72 onwards, so he was right. But Glitter just wasn't cool. Glitter was pop.
Pop, yeah.
And your melody makers who'll have been into Bowie and Roxy Music and all of that, and seen them as being experimental and kind of different. Glitter wouldn't have been any. Glitter was just, top of the pops.
I wonder what Bowie's relationship with Glitter was like. They must have crossed paths.
I don't know. Have we ever seen a picture of them together?
Gary,
just put in Bowie to do a search and it's just a lollipop in the eye.
Gary, you're a good guy, but stay away from the kiddies, yeah?
Dear boy, Gary Glitter. Is there a picture of them together? I don't think there is. There's one of Bowie and Mark Bolan together.
Let me ask you, is there any pictures of David Bowie and Giles Brandreth together? Because they must have crossed paths in that era, right?
That's a good question. Let's have a quick look.
Brandreth must have been active on the glam scene.
All you get is, when you put that in, you get absolutely no Bowie content at all, just Brandreth pics.
And is he talking about... He's probably just fucking... To put himself up the algorithm, he's worked out that if you just say fucking David Bowie regularly enough, it'll fucking whack you up the charts.
There's a picture of him with Carol Vorderman and Richard Whiteley and Richard Stilgoe.
Yeah, that's like his golden age of fucking countdown.
Yeah, he's dressed like a tit in that. Yeah, there's very little evidence of Bowie and Brandreth having collaborated at all.
Right. Okay.
But, different eras, I suppose.
Well, we'll keep an eye on that.
So yeah, I apologise to Gary Glitter for saying that he was the fag end of glam rock, because he was right in the middle of it, 73. But the Glitter Band is an interesting thing, because the Glitter Band are higher up in the charts this week than Gary Glitter is.
So what's that about then?
They were Gary Glitter's backing band.
So why did they split away and do their own thing?
They just fucking fancied it.
Was he pissing them off? Is what I'm saying. Were they like, look, the next song we're doing about you? And he went, you can't do it without me. I am the Glitter Band. The Glitter Band does not exist without Gary Glitter.
Look at my birth certificate. What's my surname? There it is, Glitter. You're nothing without me. No, I think it was just to try and squeeze more cash and success out of the whole concept. It was Glitter's manager. No, it wasn't Glitter's manager. It was it was one of the musical director and trombonist of the Glitter Band. And he went to Glitter's manager and says, "Hey, shall we do some songs without Fucknut?" there. And they did.
Without that fucking weirdo.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe he said, "Look, I've seen some things during the time we've been on tour, and I've got a
things
feeling
that I don't like.
I've got a feeling that the boss, as he makes us call him, is not going to be at liberty for very long. So we need to make contingency plans."
As John Lennon himself once sang, "I've got a feeling deep inside, and it's not fucking good either."
So yeah, they did some stuff with that. I mean, I can't see any kind of reaction from Glitter. It's not on the record, but it happened. It's weird, isn't it? It's like Adam and the Ants being around and the Ants putting out their own singles.
But at the same time, not like years afterwards.
At the same time.
But like Adam and the Ants are at number 8 in the chart, but the Ants without Adam are at number 3 in the chart.
Number 3, yeah. Yeah, it's mad. And the Glitter Band stuff, it's good. I mean, let's be honest. I know we're not supposed to say this, but a lot of Gary Glitter's 70s stuff is fucking great.
Is it? I don't know it enough. I only know like the famous hits, like "Do You Want to Be in My Gang?"
Yeah, well, they're great. They sound brilliant.
Stomping.
The production on them is fantastic. Yeah. So it's dodgy. It's separating the art and the artist. But at the end of the day, it's paedophile. You can't be going around listening to.
Well, he's back out now. Is he coming back to England or what?
He's back out. He's back out in the. I think his bail hostel or whatever it is that he lives in was attacked recently. Glitter released. He's about 78 now, I think. Police called a disturbance outside Gary Glitter bail hostel in February 2023. He's 79. So
I'm not pro-nonce, but I've got a bit of a problem with people who just go around like attacking nonces for like, I don't know, it just seems a bit. I think those people must be pretty disturbed.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, do you think once someone served their time in prison, they should be left alone to try and be rehabilitated?
Well, yeah, I do. But I don't think it should be like, oh, well, let guys be owned. Yeah, they need to be rehabilitated, but properly, which I don't think happens in our criminal justice system because I think there's no money in it. And so they just fucking... So I don't think it happens. But I think it'd be a nice thing. But what I don't think is like vigilantism is ever particularly good. And I include Batman in that. You know, everyone's sort of like pro-Batman, aren't they? But I just think it's outrageous the shit he gets up to. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah. All them superheroes that haven't really got official clearance.
No clearance.
I mean, when you watch some of those Marvel films and you see those set-piece action bits where huge swathes of city get destroyed.
Yeah, but to be
you
fair...
Just wonder you just wonder who's going to clean it all up.
Well, it's not to be too nerdy, but in the Avengers, there is actually a whole film about the ethics of it, because they do smash up a huge part of some African town in a failed assassination attempt. And and then the whole film is like the government say, right, we've got to regulate them. And then it breaks up because you've got, like, basically Tony Stark is... Iron Man's quite left-wing and believes that there is a role for the state and that democracy means that there has to be oversight from a democratically elected body on their activities, which I think is a left-of-centre point of view. But, of course, what's his name? Captain America. Or maybe I've got it wrong way around. But Captain America is obviously the Lampard in the situation, and they end up having they split up and have a war against each other.
Is it quite a meetings-based film?
It's so meetings. It's really boring.
Due process.
Yeah, it's really boring.
Minutes taken and all that.
Yeah, it's like Avengers Admin. I think that's what it's called, Avengers Admin. It's very much like Jeremy Corbyn's period as leader of the Labour Party.
Yeah,
where there was just sort of lots of internal wranglings,
infiltration.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't seen all of them. I haven't seen that one. It's probably going to be on BBC One late at night at some point because they generally all are.
Well, the Avengers films, they're awful, really, mate. But you know, if you've got kids my age, you've had to sit through a fucking lot of them.
Yeah, I've seen some.
I think he's past it now. I think my son's past it. I managed on Friday night to get him to watch The Social Network, which is that film about Facebook. which he really likes. He's really into coding. So it's basically a film where somehow Aaron Sorkin, who wrote it, makes like a whole 2 hours of just fucking nerds sat in front of laptops typing out code. Really dramatic and compelling. It's a fucking great film. But it's because there's great performances in it, not least by Justin Timberlake, who plays the guy who founded Napster, who is a fucking proper Roy Race sort of character. He's a proper, all right, cunts, it's me, the founder of Napster. I'm fucking minted. It's really good.
And it's got them weird twins in it as well, who were involved in the beginning of it.
Yeah, but who are both played by Armie Hammer. So he plays both twins.
Yeah.
And they use CGI to make him like two of them in every scene. And he's really good. All the acting in it is great. It's fucking funny. And Zuckerberg comes out of it as like a fucking absolute cunt. Like an unbelievable cunt. I can't believe, as rich as he is, he allowed that film to happen, to be honest.
Yeah.
But he's a bit Roy Race, although a nerdier Roy Race. He's a bit like, yeah, fucking slow hand clap, well done. You've made a film that makes me out to be a cunt. Oh, I'm really fucking worried it's going to eat into my billions. Well, done with your stupid fucking film. I could not give a fuck.
There was a tweet I saw the other day, which is pretty good, which says Facebook's been on quite a journey. It started off as a website for rating the hotness of people.
Yeah. And
then it turned into a site of right-wing insurrection.
Yeah.
And now it's somewhere where you can buy an armchair.
It's true. It's amazing. But that's true. And in a way, it's like he didn't know what it was going to fucking be. But all he knew was loads of people would go onto it. Right? And he was fucking right. And he didn't know how it would make money or what it would be. And they're right. It's made like money in all manner of different ways. And it'll probably continue to do so. Because as long as people are on there, as long as people can put pictures of themselves and show off about themselves to their mates, right? And look and pry into their mates' lives, then people will go back there. And as long as there's people there, you can flog stuff, can't you?
That's it. And he I don't think he knows what to do with it. I don't think he's any good at all at running it.
No, he's
it's grown out of it.
He's absolutely
it's completely
insane.
Outgrown. Yeah. It's like all of them. Like there was a documentary about Jeff Bezos on Channel 4 the other night, and he's fucking mad now because he's just got so much money and he doesn't know what to do with it. And it's maybe it was what he intended, but going into outer space.
I can't condemn them because I think that I would go insane if I had that kind of money. We're talking about like, all right, Bob's bought a bit of a self-flowing river, but
that's how it starts.
These guys could buy a whole ocean. Like Zuckerberg, if he wanted, could wake up this morning and go, I want to buy the whole of the Pacific Ocean and I want to fill it, I want to drain it and then fill it with custard. Get it, make it so. He'd shout at his team of like underlings, make it so, and they would. Who's
going to say no? Exactly. Who's going to say no to that?
Well,
nobody.
The ultimate case is, what's his name? Cunty face who bought Twitter.
Musk.
He's off his nut. He's up in space. He's doing all sorts of shit. My favourite thing he ever did was try to save those people who were down a mine. Yeah. And when someone else said, no, we're going to come and do it, he called them nonces.
Called them a pedo. Yeah.
Like, that is what that money makes you do. It makes you act like we would on a daft podcast, right? Just say weird shit, but do it all in real life.
He does it in real life. And then the bloke who he'd accused of being a pedo sued him and lost. Even though he wasn't a pedo.
You can't take Musk on in a fucking court of law. He'll like get like 1,000 of the best lawyers on earth, and it will be like the equivalent of me and you buying a fucking packet of jelly tots.
Insane. Well, we've run out of time, I'm afraid.
Well, I don't think this is a very interesting chart. I mean, I don't know.
I think it might be. We haven't looked at it. I think we'll have another go at it and just maybe try and look at it instead of. We've done a couple of minutes on Gary Glitter and the Wombles, and that's it. There's got to be more to it than that.
Bonus content.
We'll have another stab at it next time. Because as we always say, there's no rush.
No.
Is there? All right. Thanks very much for listening, and goodbye.
Goodbye.